I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the whole school trail parking lot out there, Skyline Drive. The parking lot, pretty good size one. There's my little red car. And I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to get over here just past my car a short distance and pick up the Hull School Trail and head down this way about a quarter of a mile, and then I'm going to turn left and start bushwhacking, looking for an old homestead over here. This land was owned by two people, Grove and Spitler. And from looking at the old maps, it looked like there was a homestead over here, and so I'm going to go over here and see if I can find it. The elevation here is 2475. Three-tenths of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 2370. That's where I came from, down the Hull School Trail, which, as you can see, is an old road. And it heads on down this way, eventually gets you down to the Thornton River. A couple more miles. But I am going to turn left if I can find a convenient spot here and start pushing my way through some of this, looking for this road slash driveway through this Grove and Spitler land here. See if I can find the driveway. My initial push into the woods, I had to give up on it. It was over that way. It was just so overgrown and gnarly and thick, I couldn't get through it. So I backed out of there, came further down the trail this way up towards this rise, and I decided, see, this is a lot easier going up through here. So even though I'm not quite in the right spot, I'm going to continue hiking to the north this way, and eventually, hopefully, I'll come up against what the old driveway is. Six-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm down at 2290 elevation, and wow, the whole school trail is way back there. Well, back there. I had to back out of here and go further down the trail up here on this ridge and come really wide and then down this way to get around all that super growth that's right down through there. But there's the road. I'm standing in the ditch. You got rocks left and right, and this is the way I'm headed, down this way. So now that I've found it, let's when I get out of here, I'm going to mark this location, and when I leave, I'm going to hike up the road to here, and then I'm going to have to head up towards that ridge line to get out of here. But let's go down this way and see if we can find the next point. This is my waypoint 1-5. 1 mile into my hike, I'm down to 2120 elevation, and I'm at my waypoint number 3. I'm standing in the road again. I lost the road. There's an area back there where the road crosses over the river, or the stream, and it's very flat. But there's the road, looking back the way I came. And this is what the road looks like continuing on to the north. But my waypoint 3, looking at the old maps, you should be take a right, and this should be, I'm thinking this is the homestead area. So, and that, look how cleared out that is. So we'll go in here and investigate, see what we can find. .1 miles into my hike, I'm down at 2,100 feet. That's where I came from, but the actual road is up this way. I'm within about, let's see, I'm within about 50 feet of the homestead location shown on the old map. And look how overgrown that is. So that probably was the location. I'll never get back in there. Maybe if I come into early spring, maybe more of it will die down, but there's no way to get back in there. So I'm going to wander around just a little bit more on the off chance that I do see something else. I mean, there's supposed to be a cemetery on this track somewhere, so I'll look around a little bit, and then I'm probably gonna, it's raining a little bit, so I'm gonna have to, misting, I'm gonna have to start heading back. .3 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2160. I finally bushwhacked my way back to the old road. This is the old road, looking up back the way I came from. That's the way I'm going to get back to my car. And there's the road looking down towards the homestead. It's over in that direction, but it's down in this area that is totally overgrown now. Really nasty, gnarly, thorny stuff. Brush growing up higher than over my head. I wandered around for a while looking for stuff, but it's just so swampy and gooey down there that and it's starting to rain a little bit here, misting. So I decided to just cut my hike short. I wouldn't recommend going down there unless it's been, probably the best time to go down there would be like January, February, when things are frozen solid. Then you could walk around down there without getting all wet and stuff, as long as there's no snow. But anyway, the creek runs through the property, and it's just turned into a giant swamp down there. So I crossed over and came up this rise here until I got up above the wetness, and then I just turned around and hiked to the west, and here I am. So I'm just going to start heading back up this thing towards my car. .8 miles into my hike, I'm back out onto the whole school trail now. The elevation here is 2,400 feet. That's the way I came from. Originally, when I was heading down there, I tried to go down there at the low point, but that's just too overgrown. That probably is where the driveway came out, but it's way too overgrown now. So if you come up here, this is like a local high point right here. That's heading down towards Thornton River. So come up here to the high point and then head north this way. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Thornton Gap, 1994. And I hiked a section of Historic Tract number 111, which is in Rappahannock County and was owned by two people. Last names Grove and Spitler. I had to cut this hike short due to bad weather on the mountain and also bad hiking conditions when I got down near the homestead. Maybe I'll go back in the dead of winter when things are frozen solid, then I can move around a little easier down there. Anyway, I parked here. This is the whole school trailhead right here. Nice parking lot there. Get out on Skyline Drive and turn right, and this section here is the whole school trail. Now this trail goes all the way down the side of the mountain down here to an intersection at the Thornton River. What I did was, I'll show you the old map here in a minute, but I got these points, this one, this one, this one. All these points I got off of an old map from 1933. And they showed a homestead here and one here. Now on the modern maps, this one right here, this area is shown somewhat cleared out. So I decided that was probably the one I was going to visit first. So I came down this trail about 2/10 of a mile, tried to go in right here, but this is super overgrown right here. I couldn't really push through that, so I backed out, continued on down the trail here a little ways to there's a rise right. This is a ridge line here down to this ridge. Turned and headed north this way and downhill, and I finally found the old road. Followed the road north to point number 3 here, and then I turned and headed east into a somewhat open area, but it's extremely overgrown and it's extremely swampy. So what I did was I ended up coming around like this and looping back and back up the road, back up the road like this, and then back to my car. I didn't see, as I came by through here, I didn't really see anything of interest in this area. This area here is probably where the big home was. This area over here looks cleared out from Google Earth, but it's all overgrown with gnarly weeds and stuff, plus this stream that runs right down through here like this. I think from all the overgrowth, this stream is backing up, and this whole area is turned into like a swamp. So probably the thing to do is, so I really didn't find anything. Probably the thing to do would be go back in the dead of winter when things are frozen solid, and maybe even take a machete to hack your way through some of that stuff. Originally I was going to hike this road all the way north to this section of the Thornton River over here and another trail, but I was having so much trouble in this area that I finally decided just to cut the hike short and loop back like this. Ended up being 2.1 miles and total ascent of 450 feet. Now let me show you the old map before I sign off here. This is Stony Man, 1933. This is the same trail, whole school trail, heading down to the river. And here's the driveway. And there's the two homesteads right there. And here's the continuation of that road to the north to this section of the river up here. So I got the coordinates for the old road off of this map right here. And then I transposed those onto this modern map. I like these modern maps because they have the UTM grid numbers on them. So I set my GPS to read out UTM coordinates, and then from these numbers I can tell where I am on this map. And that was the hike for today.